Throughout the years, Duggar has been one of the celebrities who has consistently been in the spotlight from the perspective of Duggar News. They were among the first people to speak out about the negative aspects of the family, particularly the scandals that Josh Duggar was involved in. Her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, was also among the most vocal. Since then, Jinger has published novels that are based on her experiences, and her admirers are grateful that she has revealed even the unsettling aspects of her family. Due to the fact that Jinger and Jeremy enjoy keeping their fans informed, they provide them with updates about their lives through the medium of a podcast. In the most recent episode, they discussed a moment that was not quite pleasant, which occurred during the time that the former gave birth for the very first time. Immediately following the birth of her daughter, she acknowledged to engaging in the consumption of hard drugs. Jinger Duggar is ecstatic about the prospect of her daughters emerging as big sisters. Jinger has divulged a great deal of fascinating information about her life over the course of the past few weeks. The year 2025 will not only see the publication of her next book, but it will also see the arrival of yet another child into the family. The celebrity from Duggar News came forward to confirm that she was expecting her third child. At one point, she was gushing over the fact that she had given her girls big sister denim jackets as a way to deliver the news to them while she was participating in a photo shoot with her husband and 2 daughters. There was a time when Jinger disclosed the length of time that they waited before informing their kids Felicity and Evangeline of the news. It was revealed that her older daughter is a bit of a chatterbox, and she stated that she would have informed her entire school if she had known about it. The mother affectionately referred to her daughter as an extrovert while explicating the rationale for her behavior. During the most recent episode, it appears that Jinger went back to the moment when she gave birth to Felicity and discussed how things went a little bit awry after she consumed a lot of hard drug. Jinger has admitted that she experienced hard drugs after the birth of Felicity. "I will never forgive them for doing that again." Because of their straightforward and unfiltered demeanor, Jinger and Jeremy Vuolo have garnered a significant following. Followers of Duggar News frequently check into their podcasts, in which they discuss a variety of aspects of their lives with their audience. During the most recent episode, Jinger made the decision to take a retrospective look at the moment when she gave birth to her eldest daughter Felicity for the first time. She described a terrifying event that took place after the family had returned home from their trip. During the show, Jinger admitted that she does not use any other medication for discomfort other than ibuprofen. On the other hand, a shocking event had place when it was time for her and Jeremy to travel back home after she had given birth. After all, the pair had a far-reaching journey ahead of them. In the past, they had to travel about 2 hours to go from San Antonio in Texas to Laredo, where they had previously resided. Consequently, Jinger stated that the physician administered hard-GS to her as a type of pain treatment. It appears that Jinger had to instruct the team to stop recording because the situation in the car had deteriorated to such a point. Counting On was a show that they used to shoot at that time period. Her condition deteriorated by the time she arrived at her house. On the other hand, the celebrity freely confessed that she will never again consent to the medical professionals doing such a procedure on her. Keep an eye on Bombshell 25 for additional details regarding the Duggar family. The Duggar family has been a significant subject of fascination for many years, thanks to their massive family, ultra-conservative Christian values, and the controversial reality TV series 19 Kids and Counting On. Within this sprawling family, Jinger Duggar stands out as one of the more progressive members, particularly when it comes to her relationship with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, and her evolving views on many aspects of life. From wearing pants to moving away from the strict rules that once defined her upbringing, Jinger's life has garnered plenty of attention over the years. But recently, Jinger Duggar has made headlines once again, this time for a deeply personal revelation that has shocked her fans and followers. In a candid interview and social media post, Jinger shared a shocking account of struggling with mental health challenges following the birth of her second child, and how she turned to hard drugs as a way to cope with the overwhelming emotions she faced. For a family known for its conservative values and commitment to an image of perfection, Jinger's openness about such a difficult chapter in her life has stunned many and sparked a larger conversation about the pressures women face, particularly those within religious communities. This revelation has left many fans questioning the true nature of the Duggar family's public image, while others have expressed support for Jinger's bravery in sharing her harrowing experience. It has also opened the door to conversations about postpartum mental health, the stigma around drug use, and the importance of seeking help during times of emotional distress. The struggles of postpartum mental health. Childbirth is a transformative and at times traumatic experience for many women. While society often romanticizes pregnancy and new motherhood, the reality can be far more challenging. For some women, the emotional and physical toll of childbirth can lead to feelings of extreme fatigue, depression, anxiety, and confusion. Postpartum depression, PPD, is a very real and common condition that affects many women after giving birth, and it can manifest in a variety of ways. In some cases, the symptoms of PPD can be so severe that they lead women to seek unhealthy coping mechanisms. Jinger Duggar, who welcomed her second daughter, Evangeline Jo Vuolo, in November 2020, admitted in a tearful interview that she had suffered from postpartum depression after the birth of her daughter. In her post, Jinger shared the emotional turmoil she went through, detailing how her mental health began to deteriorate after the birth and how she struggled to ask for help. "It felt like I was drowning," Jinger admitted in her post. "I had a beautiful baby girl, a loving husband, but I felt so overwhelmed. I was so exhausted, physically and emotionally, that it felt impossible to keep going. The depression was suffocating." Jinger's vulnerability resonated with many women, particularly those who have also faced struggles with postpartum depression. However, her story took an unexpected turn when she revealed that she had resorted to using hard drugs as a way to numb the pain of her emotional distress. The shocking revelation: hard drugs as a coping mechanism. Jinger's confession that she had used drugs to cope with her emotional pain is both surprising and concerning. For a family as public and prominent as the Duggars, the admission that one of their own had turned to substance abuse is a stark departure from their typical portrayal of perfection, wholesome values, and adherence to traditional Christian principles. Jinger explained that in her darkest moments, when she felt utterly alone in her struggles, she sought out substances that promised temporary relief. "I was in such a dark place that I didn't know where to turn," Jinger admitted, her voice trembling as she recounted her experience. "I felt like I was failing as a mother, as a wife, and as a woman. It was hard for me to even get out of bed. I just wanted to feel better, even if it was only for a moment. That's when I made the choice to use drugs. I didn't see any other way out." According to Jinger, she was introduced to drugs by a close friend during a particularly low point in her postpartum journey. She explained that the drugs were presented to her as a way to escape her pain and exhaustion, and she was initially hesitant but ultimately gave in to the temptation. "At the time, I didn't think I had any other options," she said. "I thought I could handle it. But before I knew it, I was hooked. The relief it gave me was short-lived, and the shame I felt afterward was overwhelming." Jinger's experience with drugs, though brief, was harrowing. She confessed that her reliance on substances grew as her depression worsened, and that it became increasingly difficult to break free from the cycle of drug use and despair. The pressure to live up to the public image of a perfect Duggar daughter made it even harder for her to ask for help. She feared the judgment that would come from both her family and her community if anyone found out what she was going through. The turning point: seeking help and recovery. Fortunately, Jinger was able to recognize the severity of her situation and sought help before things spiraled further out of control. The turning point came when her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, noticed that Jinger's behavior and emotional state had changed significantly. Jeremy, who had long been a source of emotional support for Jinger, encouraged her to reach out to a counselor and to begin a process of healing. "It wasn't easy," Jinger shared. "Jeremy and I had many long talks about what I was going through. He helped me see that I wasn't alone, that I didn't have to hide anymore. It was scary at first, but I eventually reached out for professional help. It was the best decision I could have made. Jinger's road to recovery was not immediate, but with the help of therapy, medication, and a strong support system, she slowly began to regain control over her life. She also became more vocal about the importance of addressing mental health, especially within the context of conservative Christian communities where mental health struggles are often stigmatized. In a follow-up post, Jinger reflected on how hard it had been to break free from the cycle of shame and guilt that surrounded her drug use. The hardest part wasn't using the drugs, she admitted. It was the shame I felt afterward. I was raised to believe that if you follow the rules and do everything right, you won't face these kinds of struggles. But the truth is, no one is immune from mental health issues, and we all need help sometimes. I had to unlearn a lot of things, but I'm grateful to be where I am today. A new chapter, advocacy and transparency. Since sharing her story, Jinger Duggar has become an unexpected advocate for mental health awareness and substance abuse recovery. She has used her platform to speak out about the importance of seeking help when facing mental health challenges and has publicly encouraged others to prioritize their well-being. In one of her most heartfelt posts, Jinger addressed the stigma surrounding drug use and mental health in religious communities. There is so much shame and judgment surrounding these topics, she wrote. As a woman of faith, I've learned that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. We are all human, and we all struggle. It's okay to admit when we need help. It's okay to take care of ourselves both physically and mentally. Jinger's candidness has resonated with many followers, particularly those who have also struggled with mental health challenges but felt too ashamed to speak out. Her story has sparked important conversations within the Duggar family's fanbase and beyond, encouraging others to open up about their own experiences and seek help when necessary. The Duggar family's response. Naturally, Jinger's revelation has prompted a mixed response from her family. While Jinger has received overwhelming support from her husband Jeremy, some members of the Duggar family have been more reserved in their public comments. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, the matriarch and patriarch of the family, have not made any public statements about Jinger's struggles. This silence has led some fans to question how much of the Duggar family's public persona is driven by the desire to maintain a certain image. Despite this, several Duggar siblings, including Jessa and Joy Anna Duggar, have reached out to Jinger with words of encouragement and love. Joy Anna posted a heartfelt message on Instagram expressing her admiration for Jinger's courage and sharing her story. "You are so brave, Jinger," she wrote. "I'm proud of you for being so open about your struggles. Your story is helping so many people, and you are making a difference." The Duggar family's response highlights the ongoing tension between public image and personal reality. The family has long been associated with a strict, idealized version of Christian family life, where issues like addiction and mental health challenges are often swept under the rug. Jinger's willingness to share her struggles represents a departure from this mold, and while her message of recovery and healing has been empowering for many, it also challenges the family's carefully crafted image of perfection. The ongoing conversation, Jinger's harrowing experience has sparked a larger conversation about mental health, addiction, and the need for more openness in conservative religious communities. For too long, women, particularly those in the public eye, have been expected to live up to an impossible standard of perfection. Jinger's honesty has shown that even those who seem to have it all together can face moments of deep despair, and that seeking help is not a sign of failure, but a step toward healing. As Jinger continues her journey of recovery, it's clear that her story has touched the lives of many.